On Christmas Eve, when the world was celebrating light and love, I was running for my life. And the kiss that saved me came from a vampire, a kiss that bound my soul to his forever. Before we dive into this story, don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more stories like this one. Let's begin. Christmas Eve in Winterdale was supposed to be peaceful. Bright lights on rooftops, soft carols drifting from homes, warm laughter behind windows. But for Evelyn Hart, the night felt heavy, almost too quiet, like the town was holding its breath. She walked alone through the snowy street, her scarf pulled up to cover her face from the cold wind. The snowflakes weren't normal white flakes. They were tinted a faint crimson, almost like tiny drops of diluted blood floating from the sky. She whispered to herself, "Red snow on Christmas Eve. Course. Only me." Evelyn didn't like Christmas. Too many memories. Too much pain. Her parents had died on a Christmas Eve 5 years ago, leaving her with nothing but a small apartment, unfinished dreams, and a heart that never felt safe again. As she walked past the old church, she felt a sudden shiver. Not from the cold, but from something watching her. She froze. The street behind her was empty. No cars. No footsteps. But she felt it. A presence like cold fingers brushing her spine. "Hello," she called out, her voice trembling. Silence. Her breath made a small cloud in the cold air. She forced herself to keep walking, quickening her pace. But with each step the feeling grew stronger, heavier, darker. Then she heard it. A whisper. Not from a person. Not from the wind. It sounded like 1,000 voices speaking at once, low and hungry. "Light, give us your light." Evelyn spun around, and the world seemed to tilt. From the shadows of the alley, something crawled out. First she thought it was smoke. But smoke didn't have eyes. Smoke didn't move like it was alive. And smoke didn't make clicking sounds like teeth scraping together. The creature stretched into shape. Long arms, long fingers, a body made of moving darkness. In place of eyes were 2 glowing white circles, cold and empty. Evelyn stumbled back. What are you?" The creature tilted its head like a curious animal. Then it charged. Evelyn screamed and ran, slipping on the snowy sidewalk. Her heart pounded wildly. The creature moved fast. Too fast, like it didn't touch the ground at all. Another one slipped from the shadow of a building. And another. Within seconds, 3 shadow creatures were chasing her. No, please," she gasped, struggling to breathe. Her legs burned. Her chest tightened. She knew she couldn't outrun them. She reached the small bridge at the edge of town, and before she could choose where to run, the first creature landed in front of her. It opened its mouth, wide, too wide, showing nothing but swirling darkness inside. "Light!" Lunged. Evelyn raised her arms to shield herself, but the creature's cold fingers wrapped around her wrist. Her skin started burning, not with fire but with cold. She felt her energy draining out of her like water leaking from a cracked cup. "I don't want to die," she whispered weakly. Her knees buckled. Her vision blurred. Her body felt like it was turning to ice. Through her dimming sight, she saw the creature lifting her off the ground, preparing to swallow her whole. A cold wind swept through the night. A silver flash cut through the darkness. And suddenly, the creature holding her fell apart into mist. Evelyn dropped to the ground, coughing, shaking, barely conscious. A figure stepped between her and the other creatures. A dark coat flowing behind him. Silver eyes glowing like moonlight on water. He didn't move fast. He didn't even seem scared. But the moment the shadow creatures faced him, they froze like prey caught in front of a predator. Evelyn blinked, her voice faint. "Who are you?" The man didn't answer. Instead, he lifted his hand. His fingers sharpened slightly. His eyes glowing brighter. With one simple gesture, he slashed through the air. And 2 creatures dissolved instantly. The last one shrieked and tried to flee. He appeared behind it in a blur. "You dare touch what is mine," he said, voice deep and calm. The creature let out a terrified hiss, then vanished into clouded darkness. Evelyn lay helpless on the cold ground, breathing shakily. The man turned toward her, walking slowly. She tried to crawl backward, terrified. "Don't hurt me," she whispered. His expression softened, but only slightly. "If I wanted to hurt you," he said calmly, "you wouldn't be speaking right now." Evelyn trembled, tears filling her eyes, her energy fading fast. What were those things?" "Shadowborn," he answered. "Darkness that feeds on light. Especially the light of someone like you." "Someone like me?" He crouched beside her. "You're not dying," he murmured, touching her cheek with an icy hand. "Not tonight." Her body grew heavier. Her heartbeat slowed. I can't breathe," she whispered. She felt herself slipping away. Then he leaned close, too close, and she felt his cold breath on her lips. "You won't survive unless I do this," he whispered. What?" He pressed his lips gently against hers. It wasn't a kiss filled with passion. It was a kiss filled with power. Warmth surged from his mouth into hers, spreading through her body like fire chasing away ice. Her veins pulsed with something electric, ancient, and forbidden. Her fingers twitched. Her body shook. Her heart restarted with a violent thud. She gasped and grabbed his coat, her eyes wide. "What did you do to me?" The man pulled away slowly, his silver eyes glowing with something unreadable. "I saved you," he said in a deep, controlled voice. "And now, your soul is bound to mine." Before she could speak, her vision blurred entirely, and she fainted into his arms. The last thing she heard before darkness swallowed her was his whisper, "Forgive me, Evelyn." Evelyn woke to the smell of burnt candles and old stone. Her eyes fluttered open, revealing a tall ceiling with faded paintings of angels and stars. She lay on a padded bench inside what looked like an abandoned cathedral, huge, empty, cold, and filled with quiet echoes. She slowly sat up, wincing at the soreness in her body. "What happened?" Her voice echoed slightly. "You almost died." Evelyn gasped and turned. There he was, the man from last night, leaning against a broken pillar, arms folded, watching her with calm, unreadable eyes. His coat draped around him like dark wings. His hair fell slightly over his forehead. And those silver eyes. They looked like they could see straight through her soul. "Why you?" Evelyn pointed shakily. "Who are you? And what were those monsters? Why am I here?" He raised one eyebrow. "That's a lot of questions for someone who could barely breathe an hour ago." "Don't joke with me," she snapped, panic rising in her chest. "What did you do to me?" He sighed and walked closer. His footsteps were silent despite the stone floor. "My name is Adrian Blackwell," he said. "And what I did was save your life. By kissing me." She clenched her fists. "Why did you kiss me?" Adrian gave her a flat look. "I didn't kiss you for romance. I gave you the crimson transfer." "The what?" "It's a forbidden technique," he explained calmly. "A vampire gives a dying human a small part of his power so their soul doesn't fade." Evelyn's eyes widened. "Wait, are you saying you're a—" "Yes," Adrian said simply. "I'm a vampire." Evelyn opened her mouth to scream, but no sound came out. She scooted backward on the bench until her back hit the wall. He sighed again. "Do humans still do that?" The dramatic backing away. "Stay away from me," she cried. "I could have killed you 100 times by now," he replied bluntly. "If I wanted you dead, you wouldn't be awake." That shut her up, but only for a moment. "So, you're not going to hurt me?" "No," he said firmly. "I'm going to protect you." Evelyn looked confused. "Protect me from what?" Adrian's expression darkened. "The Shadowborn will come back. They tasted your light. They won't stop until they devour you." "But why me? I'm just normal." Adrian stared at her for a long moment. Then he said quietly, "No, Evelyn. You're not normal. Not anymore." Her heart skipped. "What do you mean?" He stepped closer, kneeling in front of her so their eyes were level. "When I gave you my power," he said softly, "I broke an ancient rule. I created a bond between us. A permanent one. A bond. Yes." He touched her wrist lightly. "You carry my power now. A small amount, but enough to make you noticeable." "Noticeable to who?" "To vampires," he answered. "To hunters. To Shadowborn. To everything that lives in the dark." Evelyn swallowed hard. "I didn't ask for this. And I didn't plan to give it to you," Adrian said quietly. "But you were dying. I couldn't let you slip away." Evelyn looked down at her trembling hands. Why did you care?" she whispered. Adrian looked away, jaw tensing slightly. "I don't know," he admitted. "There was something different about you. Your light, your fear, your strength, even when you thought you were weak." "Don't make things complicated," she whispered. He smirked faintly. Too late. A long silence settled between them. Evelyn finally asked the question she feared most. "What happens to me now?" Adrian stood and offered his hand, though she didn't take it. "You will start feeling things," he said. "Strange sensations. New strength. New weakness. Our bond will grow." "What kind of sensations?" He hesitated, then said, "You'll feel my emotions sometimes. My pain. My hunger. Even my memories might slip into your dreams." Evelyn froze. "That sounds horrible." "It can be," he replied softly. "Can I undo it?" He shook his head. "No." Her stomach dropped. Her throat tightened. "Oh. I'm stuck like this. For the rest of your life," Adrian said honestly. "Or mine." He saw the fear in her eyes and added gently, "But I swear I'll protect you. I bound myself to you, Evelyn. I don't abandon what I save." Evelyn hugged her arms around herself, feeling both comforted and terrified. "People will come for you," Adrian continued. "Those creatures from last night were only the beginning. What do I do?" "You stay with me," he said. "It's the only way to survive." "I don't even know you," she whispered. "You will," he replied. "And soon." Evelyn stood shakily, backing away again. "Why should I trust you? You're a vampire." Adrian stepped toward her. He lifted her hand gently, and before she could pull it away, he pressed her palm to his chest. There was no heartbeat. Evelyn gasped. You're really..." "Yes." He lowered her hand. "But trust me anyway." "Why?" Adrian's eyes softened, just a little. "Because you carry part of my soul now," he said. "And I will not let anything take you from me." Evelyn stared at him, breathing unsteadily. "Don't say things like that," she whispered. "Why not?" Adrian asked calmly. "Because it sounds emotional." He gave a small, rare smile. "Vampires still feel, Evelyn. We just pretend we don't." Before she could reply, she felt a sharp sting on her wrist. A dark mark burned into her skin, a swirling crimson symbol. She screamed and grabbed her arm. "What's happening?" Adrian rushed to her. "Evelyn, look at me." "It hurts," she cried, shaking. "That's the bond sealing itself," he said urgently. "It's normal. Normal. It feels like fire." Adrian gently held her arm and whispered something in an ancient language. The burning gradually faded. Evelyn leaned against him, breathing hard. He held her carefully like she might break. "It's done," he murmured. "The bond is complete." Evelyn swallowed hard. "So, this is real. All of it." "Yes," Adrian said softly. She pulled away slowly, though she still felt dizzy. "What do I do now?" she whispered. He looked at her with quiet resolve. "You survive," he said. "And you do it with me." Evelyn trembled, not from fear, but from the terrifying truth that her life had changed forever. And the vampire standing in front of her was now the only one who could keep her alive. The morning after the Christmas Eve attack, Evelyn woke to a cathedral bathed in pale sunlight streaming through cracked stained glass. The colors danced on the stone floor, red, green, and gold, but the beauty felt hollow to her now. She rubbed her temples. Her body still ached, her wrist burned faintly from the bond. But it was not only physical pain that weighed on her. It was the strange sensation of feeling someone else's emotions inside her chest. She froze, sensing it again. A deep, aching loneliness she could not explain. It wasn't her own. "You feel it again, don't you?" Adrian's voice was low behind her. She spun around. He stood in the shadow of a pillar, his silver eyes calm but penetrating. "Feel what?" she asked cautiously, keeping her distance. "The bond," he said simply. "When a human carries vampire power, they feel a fraction of the vampire's soul. Pain, hunger, regret. All of it." Evelyn swallowed hard. "I feel something, but it's not my pain. It's like someone is crying inside me." "That's me," Adrian admitted, stepping closer. "My memories, my feelings. They can slip into yours. The bond isn't just physical. It's emotional." Evelyn's hand shook. "You mean, you're saying I can feel you? All of you?" Adrian nodded slowly. "You can feel my centuries of loneliness. My guilt. My mistakes. My hunger." Evelyn stared at him, her mouth dry. "That's horrifying." He looked away, a rare softness in his expression. "It's also terrifyingly beautiful. You have a heart capable of feeling everything, Evelyn. Most humans can't." "I don't know if I like this," she whispered. "I barely survived the shadow creatures. And now, I have to live with all of you inside me." He knelt in front of her, his eyes level with hers. "It's not about liking it. It's about surviving. The bond saved your life. And it's not just me you feel, it's power. Strength. You will need it if you want to live." Evelyn's pulse raced. "Power. I can't even control it." "You will," he assured her. "I'll teach you. But it won't be easy. You'll get angry. You'll hurt yourself. And maybe me too." Evelyn swallowed, a lump forming in her throat. "Why are you helping me?" He hesitated. "I didn't plan to. But can't let you die. Not after everything." She wanted to ask everything what. But the cathedral felt cold, the silence heavy. She realized the truth. She trusted him already, even though she hated it. Suddenly, a strange shiver ran down her spine. Evelyn gasped as visions flashed before her eyes. Scenes she hadn't lived but recognized as his memories. A centuries-old city burning, a young girl hiding in an alley, a vampire council arguing over a life-or-death decision. She fell to her knees. What is happening?" Adrian knelt beside her, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. "Relax," he whispered. "You're seeing fragments of my life. Only fragments. It's normal." Evelyn shook her head, overwhelmed. "No, I don't want to feel your pain. I'm already scared enough." "I know," he said softly. "But the bond can't be undone. You will feel me, my joys, my fears, my regrets. And in return, I will feel you." Evelyn looked up, her eyes wide. You'll feel me." "Yes," he said. "Your fear, your love, your anger, your hope. Even the tiniest spark of your happiness will reach me." Her heart skipped a beat. "Why would you want that?" He gave a faint, almost sad smile. "Because I haven't felt anything in centuries. And now maybe I can." Evelyn stared at him, unsure whether to be terrified or touched. Her pulse thudded painfully. The strange warmth inside her veins pulsed with every heartbeat, and she realized she didn't want it to stop. For the next hour, Adrian guided her through controlling the first flickers of vampire power. He instructed her to focus on small objects. A candle, a chair, a feather that had fallen from the altar. She could feel the weight of her own strength, the tiny electric pulse of his essence moving in her veins. "It's like I can push things with my mind," she whispered, eyes wide. "Exactly," he said with a rare approving smile. "And soon you'll do much more than that." But patience, Evelyn. You can't rush it. She bit her lip, glancing down at her hands, still trembling. And, if I fail? Adrian's silver eyes softened. Then I'll protect you. Always. For the first time, Evelyn didn't feel completely alone. Later that night, Evelyn couldn't sleep. The visions continued. Adrian's memories intertwined with her dreams. A centuries-old duel with another vampire. The laughter of a woman long gone. A city burned by shadow-born creatures. She woke up in a cold sweat, gasping. Adrian was sitting by the window, looking out at the crimson-tinted snow. "You're awake," he said, voice calm but wary. I can't sleep," she admitted. "These dreams, your memories, they feel real." "They are," he replied. "Fragments of my past, of the pain I carry. You won't fully understand yet, and you might not want to. But one day, you'll see why I gave you this power." Evelyn's eyes filled with tears. "I don't even know why I trust you. I feel like I like you. But that's wrong. You're a vampire. I'm human. This is forbidden." Adrian looked at her, eyes softening with an emotion she could almost name as longing. Nothing worth feeling is ever easy. Nothing worth saving is ever simple. She swallowed hard. "And yet here I am. Alive. Because of you. Because of us," he corrected quietly, almost a whisper. Evelyn's heart beat faster, and she realized that the bond was more than just a curse. It was the beginning of something dangerous, something she couldn't control. Something that could change both their lives forever. The next evening, Evelyn and Adrian were moving cautiously through the cathedral when a sudden noise froze them. A shadow fell across the stained glass, and Evelyn's stomach turned. "Adrian, what is that?" she whispered. Before he could answer, the doors at the far end slammed open. Bright light spilled into the cathedral. Several tall figures in dark cloaks stepped inside. Their presence exuded authority and fear. Adrian's expression hardened instantly. Evelyn could feel his tension radiating through the bond like electricity. "Vampire Council," he murmured under his breath. Evelyn's eyes widened. "Council? What are they?" "They are our lawkeepers," Adrian said tersely. "The ones who enforce the rules of the vampire world." One of the council members, a tall man with piercing black eyes, stepped forward. His voice was sharp, echoing through the cathedral. "Adrian Blackwell," he said, "you are in violation of ancient laws. By giving your human companion the Crimson Transfer, you have broken the rules. You have created a bond forbidden by the council. You will be punished." Adrian's hand brushed against Evelyn's, a silent reassurance. "Stay behind me," he whispered. Evelyn's heart raced. "Punished how?" she asked quietly. The council member's gaze shifted to her. "Human. You carry vampire power that you were never meant to bear. You are dangerous. If you cannot control it, you will be destroyed." Evelyn's chest tightened. "Destroyed?" "Yes," another council member said. "Your very existence is a threat to the balance. Shadowborn, vampires, and humans alike will suffer if your power is unleashed without guidance." Adrian stepped forward, silver eyes flashing dangerously. "She is under my protection. You will not touch her." The first council member's lips curled into a thin, mocking smile. "You will not be able to stop us forever, Blackwell. Your actions have consequences. Remember, a human with vampire power can tip the scales of life and death." Evelyn's hand trembled as she felt the council's judgment radiate toward her through the bond. She could sense Adrian's anger, his frustration, even his fear, all burning inside her as if it were her own. I can control it," she said nervously. Her voice shook, but she tried to sound confident. "I will learn. I can do this." The council laughed softly, a sound that echoed like death through the cathedral. "You will learn or you will die," the first council member said coldly. "The choice is yours, human. But remember, time is not on your side." Before they could advance further, Adrian's body shifted. His eyes glowed brighter. He moved with unnatural speed, positioning himself between Evelyn and the council. "Leave now," he said in a voice that resonated with power, "before I am forced to act." The council members exchanged a glance. "This is not over," the first one warned. "We will be watching. Every step you take, every breath you draw, human. And you, Blackwell, do not forget. You are no longer untouchable." With that, they vanished in a flash of darkness, leaving a heavy silence in their wake. Evelyn sank to the floor, trembling. They want to kill me." Adrian knelt beside her. "They're testing us, seeing if you are ready. But I won't let them touch you. Not now, not ever." She looked at him, her voice barely a whisper. Why would they care so much?" "Because what they fear most," Adrian said quietly, "is change. And you are change." Evelyn's stomach churned. Fear, adrenaline, and a strange thrill mingled inside her. She realized just how dangerous her new life had become. And yet, she couldn't deny a strange exhilaration at the thought of surviving it with him. Adrian's hand brushed her cheek softly, grounding her. "Tomorrow," he whispered, "I will teach you more. About control, about power. And about surviving this world that wants to destroy us." Evelyn nodded weakly, still trembling. But despite the fear, there was one undeniable truth settling in her chest. She was bound to him forever. And somehow, she didn't want it to be any other way. The cathedral was quiet except for the soft sound of snow falling against the broken stained glass windows. Evelyn had been awake most of the night, her mind racing with memories, visions, and the bond that now tied her to Adrian. When she finally stood, she noticed Adrian waiting for her near the altar. His silver eyes caught the faint light, glowing faintly. He looked almost serene, something Evelyn found both comforting and unnerving. "Good morning," he said softly. Evelyn rubbed her eyes. "Morning. I can't even tell what time it is." "That's normal for vampires," Adrian said with a faint smile. "Time doesn't matter to us. But it still matters to humans, apparently." Evelyn's lips curved into a small, nervous smile. "Humans. I used to be one of those. I miss being normal." Adrian's expression softened, almost imperceptibly. "Normal is overrated. Look at me. I've spent centuries thinking I had everything under control. And then..." He looked down at her. "Then I found you." Evelyn froze. Her heart skipped. She hated how fast it was beating, but she couldn't deny it. She also hated how much she wanted to trust him. She began but stopped. Words failed her. Adrian took a careful step closer. "You're stronger than you think, Evelyn. Your bond with me, it's dangerous, yes. But it's also a gift. You can feel things most humans never experience. You can fight. You can survive. And you can love even when it's forbidden." Evelyn felt a strange warmth in her chest. Forbidden love. She had thought of that phrase 100 times in the past days, especially when she felt his emotions inside her. But hearing him say it aloud, it made her heart ache. "Love," she whispered. I don't know if I can." Adrian knelt down, level with her. "Yes, you can. And you already do, whether you realize it or not. Fear doesn't mean absence of love. Love is courage. Love is surviving when every instinct tells you to run." Evelyn swallowed hard. "But it's wrong. I'm human, you're you." "Exactly," he said softly. "And that's why it's real." Evelyn's lips trembled. She wanted to push him away, but she couldn't. The bond pulsed inside her, a heartbeat she could feel even though vampires had none. It was him, and he was in her veins. Suddenly, a flicker of light appeared in the corner of the room, an object moving as if lifted by a breeze. Evelyn's eyes widened. She instinctively raised her hand, and to her shock, the object hovered in midair. I did that," she whispered. Adrian nodded slowly. "Yes, that is your power. You can manipulate objects. even energy in small bursts. But controlling it is difficult. You need focus. You need practice. That is why we train. Evelyn's mind raced. But what if I fail? You won't, Adrian said firmly. Because I'll be with you. Always. Hours passed, and Adrian taught her to control her newfound abilities. He guided her through moving objects, feeling energies and sensing the shadows around them. Evelyn stumbled, shouted, and even cried a little, but each time Adrian was patient, gentle, encouraging. You see, he said finally, watching her levitate a candle across the room without dropping it. You are learning. You are growing. And more importantly, you are beginning to trust yourself. Evelyn smiled faintly. I don't know if I can ever be normal again. Adrian's gaze softened. Maybe normal isn't the point. You are extraordinary. And extraordinary doesn't fit into normal rules. Evelyn's chest fluttered. She wanted to argue. She wanted to retreat. But she couldn't deny it. She wanted him. For the first time since her parents died, she felt alive. Not just surviving, but alive. And every time their eyes met, every time their hands brushed, she felt a dangerous pull. Something that whispered a forbidden desire, of hearts daring to beat together despite centuries of darkness. Later that evening, Evelyn sat by a broken window, staring at the crimson-tinted snow. Adrian approached silently, holding a small cup of warm tea. Here, he said softly, handing it to her. Thanks, she whispered, taking it. The warmth spread through her fingers, and more strangely through her chest. She felt him, his presence, his life. His heartbeat, even though she knew he had none. You're thinking about last night, Adrian said quietly. I can't stop thinking about it, Evelyn admitted. I know, he murmured, sitting beside her. And that's normal. You're human. You're learning. You're feeling, and that's what matters. Evelyn felt tears welling in her eyes. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, Adrian said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. But fear isn't weakness. Fear is proof that you care, that you want to survive, that you want to feel. Evelyn looked at him, and for the first time, she didn't feel afraid. She felt something stronger, something dangerous and intoxicating. Adrian's eyes softened. You are not alone, Evelyn. And you never will be. Evelyn leaned back slightly, almost afraid of the words her heart wanted to say. Almost afraid to feel the pull of this forbidden connection. The next day, Evelyn and Adrian trained in the cathedral again. The snow outside had stopped, leaving a cold, still silence. The bond pulsed stronger than ever, a reminder of the danger they were in. Adrian observed her closely as she practiced controlling her powers. A small candle floated between them, flickering in the dim light. Evelyn's hands shook slightly, but she concentrated and the candle steadied. You're improving, Adrian said softly. I don't feel like it, Evelyn said, panting. I feel unstable. Like I could hurt someone by accident. You could, Adrian admitted. But that's part of the learning. Part of controlling power is understanding the danger. Evelyn's eyes widened. Danger. Like the council. Adrian shook his head. Worse. The Shadowborn. Last night they tasted your light. They know you exist. And now, they want you. Evelyn's stomach twisted. Me. But I'm just me. No, Adrian said softly. You are not just anyone. You carry my power now. And that makes you dangerous. To them, and to yourself if you cannot control it. Evelyn's hands trembled. What do they want? They want a queen, Adrian said quietly. A human carrying vampire power. Someone who can rule the darkness they cannot fully control. And right now, that someone is you. Evelyn froze. Me. Queen. Adrian nodded. You could destroy them, or you could join them. That is why they will not rest until they find you. Her chest tightened. Fear and excitement mingled inside her. I don't want to be a queen. I don't want to rule anything. I know, Adrian said. But you already hold power beyond human understanding. And with power comes responsibility. If you don't control it, the Shadowborn will try to take it by force. Evelyn swallowed hard. And if I fail? You won't, Adrian said, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Because I will be with you. And because the bond. It gives you strength you never imagined. Suddenly, a cold wind swept through the cathedral. Shadows moved unnaturally along the walls. Evelyn felt her chest tighten as the bond pulsed violently. They're here, she whispered, panic rising. Adrian's silver eyes glowed. Stay calm. Control your fear. Remember what I taught you. Evelyn focused, taking a deep breath. She felt the power in her veins, warm and strange. The bond pulsed stronger, almost like a heartbeat, guiding her. The shadows twisted into forms, creatures with long, jagged limbs and glowing eyes. They hissed and lunged at them, their voices a chorus of malice. Adrian stepped forward. Evelyn, focus on me. Channel the bond. Her hands shook, but she did as he said. The power surged through her, and for the first time she felt it fully. Not fear, not pain, not hesitation, just control. The shadows shrieked as a wave of energy burst from her hands, throwing them back. The cathedral trembled. Evelyn's heart pounded, adrenaline and power flooding her. She felt alive, terrified, and invincible all at once. Adrian approached, placing a hand gently on her shoulder. You see. You are ready. Evelyn looked at him, chest heaving. I did it. Yes, he said softly. And now, they will never forget you. Evelyn's mind spun. She could feel the Shadowborn's fear, their desire for her power. She could feel her bond with Adrian pulsing stronger than ever. I'm the queen, she whispered. Only if you choose to be, Adrian said. And only if you survive the world that wants to claim you. Evelyn's chest tightened, not just with fear but with something else. Excitement, power, desire, and a dangerous, forbidden pull toward Adrian. The bond between them throbbed, a heartbeat she could feel in her chest. And for the first time, Evelyn realized. She didn't want to be normal anymore. She didn't want to run. She wanted this life. She wanted the danger. She wanted him, even if it was forbidden. The crimson snow had returned, dusting Winterdale in a surreal, blood-tinged glow. Evelyn stood at the edge of the cathedral, staring at the icy streets. Her power was growing. She could feel it humming in her veins, a dangerous energy that surged whenever she thought of Adrian. He appeared silently beside her, his coat brushing the snow. Silver eyes glinting, he surveyed the streets. You've come far, he said softly. But you must understand, our enemies are stronger than you imagine. Evelyn's hands trembled as she turned to him. I know, but can feel them now. The Shadowborn. They're out there. Adrian's jaw tightened. Yes. And they will come for you, more relentless than ever. The bond. It has made you a beacon. Evelyn swallowed hard. I'm scared. He reached out, brushing her hair from her face. The gesture sent a shiver through her. Fear is natural, he said quietly. But it can also make you strong. You're stronger than you realize. Stronger than me in some ways. Her heart pounded, not just from fear but from something else. She wanted him. She wanted the danger. She wanted the connection that the bond forced upon them. She began, then stopped. Words failed her. Adrian's silver eyes softened. You don't need to say it. I feel it. Evelyn felt her chest tighten. I can't. This is wrong. You're you. And you are me now, Adrian whispered, stepping closer. In a way we are bound. Not just by power, but by everything in between. Desire, trust, fear, love. Evelyn shook her head. Love. That's forbidden. Adrian reached out, his hand brushing hers. Everything worth feeling is forbidden, he murmured. The world doesn't allow what is extraordinary. But we don't get to choose the world. Only our hearts. Her pulse raced. She wanted to push him away. But she couldn't. The bond hummed, pulsing with shared heartbeat-like energy. Suddenly, a flash of movement caught her eye. Shadowborn. Hundreds of them emerging from the alleyways, drawn to her light. Adrian's expression hardened. They can sense you. They're coming. Evelyn felt her chest tighten. Panic surged, but Adrian's presence anchored her. Focus, he whispered. She closed her eyes, drawing power from the bond. She felt his heartbeat, his life flow through her veins. Energy surged from her hands. Objects levitated, candles lit spontaneously, and a wave of power erupted from her, knocking the Shadowborn back. They're stronger than I expected, Adrian said, his voice tense. He stepped beside her. But so are you. Evelyn's eyes met his. The fear, the adrenaline, the pulsing bond. All of it intensified the dangerous attraction she felt for him. She wanted him close. She wanted him to feel her fear, her thrill, her heartbeat racing like a drum in the cold night. You're incredible, he murmured. More than I imagined. Evelyn looked down. I don't want to hurt you. You won't, he said softly. But if you feel anything at all, it's natural. It's part of the bond. Her breath caught. I feel so much. I feel you, and me, and everything. It's too much. Adrian's hand lifted, tracing her jaw gently. It's not too much. It's real. Evelyn trembled. Her lips quivered. Then why does it feel like danger? Because it is, Adrian whispered. Every heartbeat, every touch, every glance. It could destroy us both. And yet, it's alive. It's ours. Before Evelyn could respond, a Shadowborn lunged from the darkness. She reacted instinctively, unleashing a surge of power that disintegrated it in a flash of energy. Her body shook with exhaustion, but adrenaline coursed through her veins. Adrian's silver eyes softened as he looked at her. You're ready for more, he said quietly. But you must also be careful. Every time you push your limits, you expose yourself to danger. Evelyn's chest heaved. I don't care. I want this. I want to feel it. I want you. The words hung in the air like fire. Adrian's expression softened further, a rare vulnerability showing through the centuries of control he normally held. You mustn't, he whispered, his hand brushing hers again. The bond is dangerous enough without this. But, his eyes flickered with longing. I want you too. The world seemed to hold its breath as they stared at each other, the bond pulsing between them like a living thing. For the first time, Evelyn realized that love could be as dangerous as any enemy, and that the line between life and death and desire was thinner than ever. The night was colder than usual. Snow covered the town like a blanket, crimson and thick in the faint moonlight. Evelyn and Adrian had returned to the cathedral, hoping to rest and train again. But danger waited where they least expected it. A familiar voice echoed from the shadows. Looking for me. Evelyn's stomach dropped. She recognized it instantly. It was Lucas, a vampire who had appeared a few nights ago, claiming to be an ally sent to help protect her. Lucas, Evelyn said cautiously. What are you doing here? Lucas stepped forward, a faint smirk on his lips. Oh, just delivering a message from the council. Adrian's silver eyes narrowed. I don't trust him. You should, Lucas said smoothly. Because if you don't, well, let's just say the council has been very patient. But patience is over. Evelyn's pulse quickened. What do you mean? Lucas grinned, revealing sharp teeth. You are too valuable to live. That's all the council cares about. No. I am just the messenger. Evelyn's heart pounded. Messenger. No. This can't be happening. Before she could react, Lucas struck with blinding speed. Adrian moved instinctively, intercepting him. The two clashed, power exploding in waves that shook the cathedral. Evelyn was thrown backward, hitting the stone floor hard. Pain and adrenaline surged through her body. Evelyn! Adrian shouted, his voice filled with urgency. She scrambled to her feet, feeling the bond pulse violently in response to Adrian's fear and anger. Shadowborn sensed the disturbance and appeared at the edges of the cathedral, drawn to the chaos. Evelyn felt a surge of energy. She had to act. She focused, letting the bond guide her hands. A wave of power erupted from her, throwing the Shadowborn back. Some disintegrated, others shrieked and fled. Adrian fought Lucas fiercely, their silver eyes locked in deadly focus. Sparks of energy flew with every movement. Evelyn realized that Lucas had betrayed them. He was never an ally. The council had used him to lure them into a trap. "No," Evelyn whispered, horror mixing with rage. "He betrayed us." Adrian glanced at her briefly, his eyes intense. "We need to leave. Stay close and trust the bond." Evelyn nodded, letting the bond guide her movements. She felt Adrian's heartbeat, or rather the essence of it, flowing through her, steadying her as they fought their way to the cathedral exit. As they moved through the snow outside, Lucas appeared again, blocking their path. Evelyn felt fear, but she also felt something else, a surge of determination. She wasn't just fighting for herself. She was fighting for him. "Stay behind me," Adrian said, his voice low but firm. "No," Evelyn said, her hands glowing with crimson energy. "I can fight too. I won't let him hurt you." Lucas sneered. "Brave, foolish human. You don't know the power you carry." Evelyn's chest tightened. "I do now." Energy erupted from her hands, a brilliant crimson wave that knocked Lucas off his feet. He hissed in pain, retreating temporarily. Adrian moved to intercept him, and together they pushed forward, using their combined strength to repel the remaining Shadowborn. Finally the path cleared. They collapsed in the snow, breathing heavily. Evelyn's chest ached, but the adrenaline still pulsed through her veins. She looked at Adrian, her eyes wide. Are we safe?" she whispered. "For now," Adrian said, brushing snow from her hair. His silver eyes softened as he looked at her. "But know this, the council will not stop. They will send more. And Lucas, he will not forgive what you did to him tonight." Evelyn's chest tightened, fear and anger mingling. I don't care. We'll fight. We'll survive. With you." Adrian's hand lifted, brushing hers gently. The bond pulsed stronger than ever. "And I will fight with you. Always. But remember, this path is dangerous. Our love. It is dangerous. And so is your power. Never forget that." Evelyn nodded, determination burning in her eyes. "I won't. I'm ready. For everything." The snow fell softly around them, crimson in the moonlight. Evelyn realized that danger, love, and power were all intertwined now. And no matter what came next, the council, the Shadowborn, or betrayal, she and Adrian would face it together. Their hearts and their souls were bound. Forever. The night was darker than ever, and the snow that had once painted Winterdale in crimson was now a thick, heavy blanket, muffling sound. Evelyn and Adrian stood atop the cathedral steps, overlooking the town. "They know we're here," Adrian said, his voice low and tense. His silver eyes glowed faintly in the shadows. "The council and the Shadowborn, they're coming for you. For both of us." Evelyn's chest tightened. Fear mingled with excitement, and the bond pulsed violently, echoing Adrian's heartbeat, or the essence of it. She felt his anger, his concern, his determination, and all of it flowed through her like fire. "How many of them?" she whispered, clutching her hands together. "Too many to count," Adrian admitted. "They won't stop until they have what they want. And they want your power, your bond, your life." Evelyn swallowed hard. "I'm ready," she said, surprising herself. "I've learned enough to fight. And I won't let them take you." Adrian's expression softened, just slightly, and he stepped closer. "You are stronger than anyone I've ever known. But this will be the hardest fight of your life." The first wave came like shadows consuming the night. Hundreds of Shadowborn poured through the streets, their glowing eyes fixed on Evelyn. Their forms twisted and flickered as they advanced. Evelyn felt a surge of power pulse in her veins. She raised her hands instinctively, focusing all her energy. A crimson wave erupted, forming a protective barrier around the cathedral steps. Several Shadowborn were thrown back, shrieking. Adrian moved beside her, silver eyes blazing. "Keep focused. Feel the bond. Let it guide you." Evelyn nodded, closing her eyes. She reached out with her mind, feeling Adrian's essence inside her, anchoring her, strengthening her. Her body became a conduit of power, energy swirling around her hands. The Shadowborn attacked again. This time they were smarter, faster. Evelyn dodged and countered, sending waves of energy that disintegrated several of them. She could feel exhaustion creeping in, but the adrenaline, the bond, the fear, and the love coursing through her veins gave her strength beyond human limits. Adrian fought with deadly precision, every movement calculated. His silver eyes blazed with power as he intercepted Shadowborn that slipped past Evelyn's barrier. They moved together like a single entity, their bond guiding them. At one point, Evelyn stumbled, hit by a Shadowborn strike. Pain surged, and she fell to her knees. Adrian caught her before she hit the ground, his hand firm around her waist. "Evelyn," he shouted, his voice fierce. "Don't falter. You can do this." She nodded, drawing energy from him. The bond pulsed violently, and she rose to her feet, stronger, faster, fiercer. Together, they unleashed a wave of power so strong that the Shadowborn shrieked and retreated temporarily. But just as they thought victory was near, a shadow larger and darker than any before emerged from the center of the group. Its eyes glowed crimson, and a cold, commanding aura radiated from it. "It's the Shadowborn Queen," Adrian whispered, his voice tense. Evelyn's chest tightened. "Queen?" "Yes," he said. "She is the leader, the strongest of them all. And she has come for you, because of the bond." The Queen's voice echoed in their minds, cold and commanding. "Hand over the bond. Surrender the human. Or all will die." Evelyn felt a chill, but she also felt something else, an undeniable surge of power. She looked at Adrian and he nodded. "You're ready," he said. "Together we can defeat her." Evelyn swallowed hard. She drew her energy into a tight ball, letting the bond flow between them. Adrian extended his hands, combining their power. A wave of light and energy burst from them, colliding with the Shadowborn Queen. The Queen shrieked, the force of their combined power pushing her back. Evelyn felt pain, strain, and exhaustion, but she held on. She could feel the bond tightening, guiding her, amplifying her strength. With a final surge, they unleashed a concentrated blast of crimson energy. The Shadowborn Queen screamed, disintegrating into shadows that scattered in the wind. The remaining Shadowborn hesitated, then fled into the darkness, leaving the town eerily quiet. Evelyn collapsed into Adrian's arms, trembling. We did it," she whispered. Adrian held her close. "Yes," he said softly. "We survived. Together." Evelyn rested her head against his chest, feeling the bond pulse gently, steadily. Fear had turned into relief, exhaustion into exhilaration. She realized that she didn't just want to survive. She wanted to stay with him, fight with him, feel everything with him, even if it was dangerous. The first light of dawn painted Winterdale in soft gold. Snow still covered the town, but it was peaceful now. Evelyn and Adrian stood atop the cathedral, watching the sunrise. "I can't believe it's over," Evelyn whispered, though she knew it wasn't truly over. There would always be danger. The council would watch, the Shadowborn might return. But for now there was peace. Adrian's silver eyes softened as he looked at her. "It's never truly over," he said. "But we survived tonight. And that means something. It means we are stronger together." Evelyn felt the bond pulse gently in her chest, a constant reminder of their connection. I've never felt like this before," she admitted. fear, power, love. All at once. I can't imagine it any other way. Adrian stepped closer, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Nor can I, he whispered. The bond, it has changed us. Forever. And now, I can't imagine my life without you. Evelyn's heart raced. She wanted to speak, to deny it, to run, but she didn't. She let the bond guide her, let her emotions flow freely. I don't want to run anymore, she said softly. I want this. I want us, together. Even if it's forbidden. Adrian's hand lifted, cupping her cheek gently. Forbidden, yes. Dangerous. Yes. But real. And I will never let you go. You are mine and I am yours. Bound forever. Tears welled in Evelyn's eyes, not from fear, but from relief, love, and something she couldn't name. She leaned into him, feeling the bond pulse like a heartbeat between them. Forever, she whispered. Yes, Adrian said. Forever. The sun rose higher, painting the cathedral in warm light. Evelyn felt a strange calm, a sense of belonging she had never known. She was no longer just a human. She was powerful, she was alive, and she was bound to the vampire she loved. Forever. Adrian pulled her close, wrapping his coat around both of them as the first rays of sunlight touched the snow. They didn't speak. They didn't need to. The bond spoke for them, stronger than words, stronger than fear, stronger than time itself. Evelyn realized that the world could be dangerous, the council could come, and the Shadowborn might return. But it didn't matter. She had Adrian and he had her. And that was enough. As they stood together, watching the sunrise, Evelyn finally felt at peace. Not the peace of safety, but the peace of being truly alive, truly bonded, and truly in love, even if it was forbidden. The bond pulsed once more, a promise sealed in crimson energy. Promise of love, survival, and eternity. And for the first time in her life, Evelyn smiled. Not because she was safe, but because she had found something worth fighting for. Something worth living for. Something worth loving. Forever. If you want more dark Christmas romance stories like this, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this Christmas Eve magic is just getting started.